Well, in our last video about the most important problem facing the U.S., where we talked about the Korean Peninsula and China and the United States, I got a couple people talk to me about it, and I got a nice a response from one of our viewers asking a very legitimate question, and that is, if the United States had is that essentially the United States and South Korea are doing joint military practicing off the coast of Korea, and if we were in North Korea has us off their coast, and if the United States was in the same position, wouldn't we be angry like North Korea is? But the issue is, it's a good question, but you have to look in the context of what's going on. You can't just look at one issue. This is really just a response to the United States and South Korea to North Korea. Let's go back a bit. In the 80s, forget about the Korean War. In the 80s, and then into the 90s, we were kind of, playing a dance with Korea. But then when President Bush became president, he made a deal with North Korea. And they were already going headlong into their nuclear weapons research. And President Bush entered into negotiations with North Korea. North Korea agreed to stop their nuclear weapon research. And the United States agreed to take North Korea off basically like a terrorist watch list and let them to do banking in the international world. And we allowed that to go on. And President Bush did that. And then North Korea broke their promise and went right back into doing nuclear weapons research. And then through the Obama administration, they did the same thing, and they kept breaking United Nations resolutions. They're shooting up these missiles that are in violation of the United Nations resolutions. South Korea has, on numerous occasions, tried to be friendly with North Korea, offer money. They did joint commercial ventures, and North Korea would always end up withdrawing and consistently going back to their nuclear arsenal. Plus, they're sending their nuclear knowledge out. They send it to Iran and to others out there to try to just destabilize things. At the same time, when you look at North Korea, you look at people who have been starved for years and decades. The size of the North Koreans are inches smaller than the South Koreans because they stunt their growth, because now Kim Jong-un just doesn't care. This is all that matters. Now, keep this in mind. When the Trump administration came in, there was going to be backroom talks between the North Koreans and the United States. You hadn't seen that in years. And there was a group of North Korean diplomats about a month ago who were going to come in and meet off the record with former United States diplomats. And they were going to get their visas to come in, the first North Koreans to get visas to the United States in so long. Right after they did that, right after this was set up, the North Koreans killed Kim Jong-un's half-brother. I mean, you can make whatever excuses you want and say that it made improve it. Malaysia's sure of it. Malaysia threw out, it does not allow the North Korean people to leave. And North Koreans are not allowing the Malaysians to leave. A lot of North Koreans took off right afterwards. And then North Koreans, they had that VX nerve agents everybody's talked about. That's a crime against humanity, using chemicals like that. VX nerve and put it right on him, and boom, and killed the man. And then after that, took about, 5 people and used anti-aircraft guns and killed them. Anti-aircraft guns, they're anti-aircraft. They destroy aircrafts, and they're using that to kill their own people. The man is really just kind of off the whatever. Now, South Korea has a new election coming up because their president's being impeached, a real democracy, because they kicked back to Samsung and others. And the guy who's winning the polls says he's going to try to reach out to North Koreans again. It might work. But until then, we have to back up our friends. So, sure, there are exercises going off the North Korean coast, but they are because of all that has happened over all these years. We were willing to talk to them just a month ago. And then you talk about off the coast, we have Russian subs that are off our northeast coast, getting intelligence, and we're not shooting missiles at them or shooting missiles at Russia or anybody for that reason. It just doesn't make sense. So that's the background. That's why the problem is that Kim Jong-un is just off the charts. And how are we going to deal with a true crazy man? And he's really crazy when you hear all that stuff and put it together, because he doesn't care what the rest of the world thinks. And then how are we going to deal with China, who really is supporting this person for all the wrong reasons. Thanks for your input, and I hope this answered a lot of your questions. And please keep watching and share us, and peace.